Hey guys, for my first video, it's going to be really interesting because we're going to talk about Mike Glennon to the Chicago Bears, and we're going to be talking about Sanchez and Shaw adding depth, and we're going to be possibly talking just a little bit about maybe they get a QB in the draft. Okay, now let's be honest. Mike Glennon is a breath of fresh air for the past, feels like forever seasons. Jay Cutler has been our quarterback. And I can go on, and I'll probably make my own video talk about Jay Cutler. But right now it's going to be about Mike Glennon. And I'm just going to say, yes, he's a breath of fresh air. And there's reason to be optimistic. There's reasons to be excited. And there's definitely reasons to be skeptical to see where this is going to go. I just want to throw out some Mike Glennon career stats out right now. His completion percentage is 59.4. His yards is 4,100 yards in his career, and his touchdowns are 30 touchdowns to 15 interceptions in his career. So that's doubled the interceptions in touchdowns. So that's actually really good. Rating is an 84.6. So overall, not too bad. And comparing the stats to the opportunity that he had at Tampa. And I want to talk about the opportunity at Tampa. Well, he came in, and Tampa was rebuilding. They were atrocious. They were not in a position to compete when he was there. They didn't have much around him. And then Lovie Smith comes in and just basically says, well, Mike Glennon's not my quarterback. So then he goes out and drafts Jameis Winston, and the rest is history. And now, in the past 2 years, Mike Glennon's only thrown 11 passes in games. That's scary, especially to us as Bears fans, because we don't know what to expect. We can look at these 11 plays and say, oh my God, that was a good throw, but I mean, it's not, it's not consistent because you don't have the tape or the film to look at him and say that he's done it over and over and over. But let me talk about what he brings to the table. Well, he's 27 years old. He's 6'6", and he's 232 pounds. To me, when he plays, when I was watching some tape, he kind of reminds me of a Big Ben. Now, about the escapability of Big Ben, no. But the way he just stands in that pocket, looks like a big dude, and just rockets it, and just throws it. It reminds me of Big Ben, which is good overall. So I think there's reason to be excited. Obviously, with a breath of fresh air and a new quarterback, it's a new offense. Here, I'll show you some highlights right now just to show you why you should be optimistic. Watching only those 3 plays, I saw 3 things about Mike Glennon that I like. Number 1, he puts the ball only where the offensive player can get it. Number 2, he shows poise in the pocket even under pressure. And 3, puts the ball where he wants. And that's a little bit of the same thing as puts the ball where the offensive player can get it. But they're different because putting a ball only where an offensive player can get it is in an area. Put it in the area vicinity and let the offensive player go get it. Now, if you're talking about putting it where he wants, if you're going to say steps back, throws a strike over the middle, or, a catch in contact, those kind of throws where you only have a football size of a gap to fit it in, and he could do it. I really do think that he could do it. Now to explain a little bit on how I really do think about Mike Glennon, and then I will go into quotes and what Brian Pace and John Fox and other people around the league and just people in general have been saying about Mike Glennon. But about me, what I really think, I'm optimistic. I really don't know if he's much better than Cutler, but right now, I know he has way more ascending talent, and there's definitely the potential. Now, I look at the offense and I look at the wide receivers and people around him. I just don't know what they could do. I'm a big Kevin White fan, but again, with those injuries, we'll see how that goes. But I think you just got to count on Jordan Howard, play the play action, do some bootlegs, and we could do this. I think we have potential to be good, but we got to see how these receivers work. And again, I can make another video about the talent on the offense other than the quarterback. On to the quotes. Okay, let's go over what Mark Dominique had to say. First, he had to say is that he compared him to Joe Flacco, which now Bears fans aren't going to get too excited over the comparison to Joe Flacco because, let's face it, Joe Flacco's a regular, average NFL quarterback. Nothing too spectacular. Second, he said this is a good opportunity for Mike Glennon, and we won't know what we're going to get out of him till a year or two into the system. Third, he says he's a hard worker, and I've heard this from many teammates and coaches and other people, things that I've watched and read, that he's a hard worker, that he goes in the meeting room first, and then he's the last one to leave. And I'm pretty sure it's the same way on the field too. So that's great. That's the kind of people that we want on the Bears. Next is more athletic than people think. Now, there's a couple plays and a couple highlights, if you want to go look them up just to do your own research, that he does run away from defenders, and he shows a little bit more athletic ability than you would think, and especially the way that he looks, too. He's more athletic than what meets the eye. And then he goes into how much potential he has and says that with the right opportunity and basically with everything, all the intangibles that he liked, that Mike Glennon does have the potential to be good. Next one is the drop passes in college. That if you watch his tape, and if you look at his numbers, that at least in college, there was a lot more drop passes than there should have been, and compared to usual college quarterbacks. So if those catches aren't dropped, then his numbers would be a lot better. And I think that's what he was trying to say, is that a lot of execs or GMs kind of miss that. And the last thing was that the guy loves football. Mike Glennon loves football. And I heard there was some couple teammates talking about it and saying that you just want to gravitate towards a guy like that just, you could just sit there all day and just talk football with him. And I think that's something that's really good for the locker room and just overall in that quarterback room. For this one, it's a lot more fun to kind of talk about. I don't really have too much to say about it because basically all this Coach Dirk Goetter is saying is that he's just comparing him to Matt Ryan and saying he's coached them both and they have similar traits. The only thing I really have to say about it is that if we have a Matt Ryan, we have someone that's a legitimate leader, someone that can really play that quarterback position as well as Matt Ryan does. I mean, I'll take it. I think we'll all take it. Okay, before we move on to the next part of this quote, I just really wanted to brief up that first sentence of what Ryan Pace said. He says, Mike Glennon is our starting quarterback. See, there's something that I'm not really too fond of about that, is because you're letting someone walk in and just take the job. I don't think that's how sports are. I don't think that's how it should be done. Even if you are hyped up on a guy, you should still have him have that mindset to go in and not be comfortable. And I don't think, obviously if he was just going to get comfortable right away, I don't think they would want him. So I think Mike Glennon is going there to work anyways, and that's great. But as a backup for 2 years, hopefully there's a fire under his ass that he's going to go out and work and he's going to play. And also it kind of takes away to us, to Bears fans, to really think, are they going to draft a quarterback? And as a lot of Bears fans feel, and I do feel that they should really draft a quarterback. And I'll talk more about the second part after I show the rest of the quote. Okay, I think Ryan Pace's idea is just to get that quarterback room working together, have them really click, and have them, each one of them, be okay with the position that they're in. Not everyone is happy with getting Mark Sanchez, especially when the Bears first announced that Mark Sanchez was going to be on the team. I know people were really mad and they were really wondering what the Bears were doing. Now, look, I don't think Mark Sanchez is supposed to play. I don't think that's the plan for the Bears, as he's not supposed to play. Is that he's supposed to be the backup. He's supposed to be the veteran that can give Mike Glennon and even Connor Shaw, and maybe if they draft a QB, to kind of show them the ropes and show them a little bit. Because let's face it, Mark Sanchez has been in the playoffs. He has been a dude to come into a franchise and take a team to the AFC Championship twice. So I think that's the point of it, is just to bring him knowledge and to bring motivation to Mike Glennon and everyone else, and someone that Mike Glennon can kind of lean on to help him out. And the reason that they brought Sanchez in is because of all the things they've heard and they've seen out of Dallas. Now, if you look back at last year, there was actually things about Prescott giving Sanchez a shout out and for being a mentor to Prescott. So I think if you're bringing Sanchez in to be that cheerleader, be that guy that can motivate and help Glennon be the best he can be, and Sanchez wants to be in that role, then, I mean, by all means, bring him in. I mean, he's the best thing that was actually out there in the free agency market. There really wasn't much better to get. And here's a couple quotes to explain what I'm talking about. Now, reading those quotes and getting a feel for Mark Sanchez and what he wants to become and how he has led Dak to now the success of where he was, not saying the coaches and Tony Romo, of course, didn't help him at all, but if Sanchez was a big part in leading that rookie to being as good as he was, then why not? Why not have him help out Mike Glennon? Why not help out the quarterback room? Help out those coaches and just make the Bears better. Just mentally and, just have a little bit more fun out there. I think that's one thing about Jay Cutler that he didn't bring is kind of that swag, that kind of fun that you kind of have when you're playing the game. And I see no problem bringing in Mark Sanchez, and I agree with probably everyone in the whole NFL that you don't want to see him play on a field. And on to what Ryan Pace had to say about drafting quarterback. And there's Ryan Pace again, sticking to his regular sentence. We're going to draft the best players available. I don't know what their idea is. I don't understand what they're doing right now. No one really knows who they're going to draft. A lot of people are saying defensive back and maybe even Solomon Thomas. I'd watch out, though, because there's a reason why there was a lot of people in the Bears organization at Deshaun Watson's pro day. I'm going to make a separate video talking about the top draft picks that I keep hearing about. So that'll probably be my next video. So stay tuned. Hopefully that's up very soon. That's all I really have for you guys today for this video. So thank you so much for watching. And please comment, like, subscribe. And if there's anything I can do better and do different, please let me know. And remember, I'm new at this, so I'm going to start trying to do my best and get better each time I make a video. So, thanks. Bear down.